you guys have an issue with
Get to it.
Redban? No, I'm trying to think of if it's the show
with
or if it's just him.
Redban and Death Squad.
Yeah. Like I don't know
We
how
love all the guys at Death Squad.
What's
Redban's
going
the
on
only one
there?
that doesn't like us. We love the guys.
I would like to talk about that because we started our show on the Death Squad network, which is Joe Rogan's network.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's run by Brian Redban,
Yes.
who was mutual friends. We all know each other. We
Totally.
had a great time. The
Doing
thing was-
podcasts here and there is always fun.
We started a show. We did 2 or 3 shows on his network.
Yeah.
And the only thing that we wanted to change was we wanted to do it more regularly. We wanted to have a set schedule
Yeah.
so people
You need
knew,
to,
hey,
yeah.
on every
Got to.
Wednesday at this time we could see these people. And that was completely impossible with him. And we tried to get in, hey, yo, we'd like to do a show. Can you get us in the studio? And it was just not happening. And I had done an interview on another show on the Toad Hop Network and started talking to the owner of that place. And they're like, I love you guys. We'd love to have you every Tuesday night at 10 p.m.
We have
this
slot
is what
for
we
you.
wanted. And we couldn't get a hold of Brian Redban to do anything. And so we just moved our show. And all those Death Squatters were like, oh my
He
God,
was
fuck
pissed.
Sex Squad.
He
And
was
went on
pissed.
iTunes. It just like blew up our account. And
Oh, did you try to sue them? And if so, for what?
no, we well the thing was we had named our show Sex Squad, which is what Jayden Cole came up with.
Yeah,
And
we bought the domain and we bought the trademark and everything.
So when we moved our show, Brian's like, look, I don't care that you're leaving, just don't take my show name. And I'm like, wait a minute.
But then he started
Jayden
another
Cole
show
came
called
up with
Sex
it.
Squad, and then we were like, well...
So I had to get my attorney
that,
involved.
bro.
Like, hey, dude,
Can't do
we
that,
came
bro.
up with a name. We registered the domain. I own the trademark. You can't take our show. Like, I'm really sorry that it didn't work out.
We're in
but
porn. Like, everything's pretty incorporated and trademarked before we let our vaginas out there into the open anyways. So you don't want to fuck with porn people sometimes, the right porn people.
He just, it was a huge misunderstanding, and I don't think that he realized that we're not just 2 lame porn stars that don't know what we're doing. I started a show. I trademarked the name. We had the domain. It's our show name.
Was Brian's point, and again, I literally heard about this morning. Was Brian's point basically that, well, our thing, we're the Death Squad, so the Sex Squad is kind of an offshoot? It'd be almost, it'd be like if someone had left Three's Company, so we're doing a show called Two's Company.
Yeah, he threw a fit because we use Squad. People are going to hear Squad and automatically associate you with Death Squad.
So we did some research.
So I did a search on iTunes and just put Squad in, and Death Squad was nowhere on that list. So I showed him that. I'm like, yeah, there's going to be
But did
such
you
confusion.
Google Sex Squad?
Did I Google Sex Squad?
No, but if you do, what comes up in that? I don't know what the answer to that is.
I don't
I'm
know
not
either.
sure.
We don't really
know.
Google
Big black
ourselves.
cock.
Yeah,
No.
We're not
You
those types of
No.
people.
If you do, because I Googled you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What
There's
came
naked,
up?
There's naked pictures.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Let me see.
How did
What?
those leak out?
Wait, I gotta look.
Fuck.
And,
God damn it. Those
Let's
things
see
you
her
do in
naked.
college that come back to haunt you.
Damn.
Yeah, that there's one. You had a penis in your face.
Whoa.
She didn't.
Oh, no.
Damn
I
it.
don't think so.
You went to college?
I've seen a penis in her face.
How many
but
times have you
nobody
heard
else
that
has.
question, Rich? Now, and what happened with Chuck Liddell? Was it something innocent, or was it something that you kind of planned on doing because he was engaged? What happened with Liddell?
Oh, with Chuck? Chuck and I met when I was 18. And we were just friends, and we were friends for years. And what happened was he and his girlfriend or fiance, who I've met and hung out with a few times, they had just split up. And he called me, his assistant called me, look, Chuck's really down. We're getting a bunch of people together, and we're going to Cabo. We had a group of 20 people, okay? It wasn't just me and Chuck in Cabo alone. And we just vacationed for a week. We had this huge house on the beach, and we took lots of pictures. And
Partied.
We just had a really good time. And like I always do, I'd never had a problem with this, but I was like, there were plenty of pictures of me and Chuck together. We're friends, no big deal, And it was just because it was right after his split with his fiance, and the news just came out after New Year's after this thing, and all these pictures came up, and Jayden and Chuck in Cabo partying, and isn't he engaged? And it was just a big nightmare when really, it was just me hanging out with my homies. It just so happened that his
she's talking
engagement
like
was
that
called
now.
But
off.
it's more interesting. I'd rather watch you and Chuck fuck than Chuck fuck anyone else. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well, actually.
Yeah.
I imagine Chuck has a large penis.
I wouldn't know.
Have you ever heard that he has one, a big one? I'm hoping he does, just 'cause I love Chuck.
When you imagine
No
it when you're
comment.
laying home in bed?
No, it's not a sexual or dirty thing. I just, as a guy who loves Chuck Liddell, I hope he's
Yeah.
packing 9, and I hope it's fat.
I always wonder when I meet people or just looking in this room, I wonder what everyone looks like naked.
I have a picture I'll show you.
I'm
That's
imagining.
just a natural curiosity. I wonder how big his
Yeah.
penis
You ever
is.
see a turtle
Redban,
naked?
Redban's calling in, actually.
Is he?
Brian,
Is he listening?
Hey, what's up, guys?
what's
Hey,
up,
Brian.
brother? How are you, man? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
All right.
Always good.
So we're. I guess
You're
we're-
already fucking 10 points down because these chicks are fucking hot.
So yeah, we're friends with Brian and we're friends with Joe. I mean, for many years. So we want to give them a.
We love all the guys.
We don't want to
at Death
represent
Squad,
them
actually.
wrong because they're our friends.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no.
Brian, we brought up
Definitely.
that info you passed along to us.
Yeah. Well, I have a problem with Jayden Jaymes, and she fucking she's a liar for one thing.
Oh.
Please tell me what I'm lying about. I would love to hear this.
Well, yeah. Why'd you get did this girl that had the green stuff coming out of her pussy? That's fucking throw her on the bus.
I'm so glad to
Christ.
know that you're still stalking me after all this time.
We do
Thank
appreciate
you.
the attention.
Yeah.
You get an STD test for just being in the same room with her. Is that what happens? Is that how that
No,
works?
Brian, you see, STDs are passed through sex. And so when I have sex with somebody that has a dirty vagina, I want to go get tested to cover my
So
ass.
after you saw the green stuff, you had sex with her.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Yeah, hey,
Yum.
shit happens. It's a vagina.
That's why you get tested the day after.
Yeah, I made her wash her pussy. It came back. It was fine, and we had a good scene.
Yeah, no more green stuff after
Yeah.
video.
It's a whole nother world.
It really is.
Photos and
I
video.
We
I
know
did
not of
actually
this world.
resort to a lot of ass eating that day instead.
Oh, that's
I
good.
did, yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Yeah.
really fun. And there was another girl there to keep me company. Which
Ass
was a lot
eating
of
is
fun,
known as
but-
the old standby.
Yeah, Sandy is pretty hot though.
Yeah, Sandy's a really cool chick. I
Sandy's
like
the
her
one
a
that
lot.
took the green stuff and shoved it right back in her face and
Oh,
went like,
yeah.
bitch.
That is good.
Shower.
Yeah,
take this.
is your pussy. You fucking eat it.
Turnabout's
It's
fair
gross.
play.
I know.
Yes, a goose and a gander. So Brian, okay, so now what happened? Because you're saying that she's lying, and it's like she's saying, "What am I a liar about?"
Yeah.
So what is the lie about?
Jayden Jaymes is just trouble. I don't even.
You are
wanna
trouble.
barely
I am.
even talk about her because there's so many people talk shit about this girl, and I know why. Because I had to deal with her. She threatened to sue me with for the most ridiculous shit ever.
I didn't
And,
threaten to sue you, honey. I just shut you up because you took our name.
Oh yeah, you shut me up. You shut me up on a show that you don't even own. And the only reason I didn't do anything is because I don't give a fuck for a free podcast, lady.
Yeah, but honey,
Yeah, but you
you're
brought a
still
lot of
listening
traffic to our
us.
website, and we got a lot of money in our
Yeah,
pocket when you
that's what
gave
you do.
a
You
lot
put
of
the-
drove
like,
traffic
your
to our
Chuck
websites.
Liddell's name.
ClubJayden.com
Just like
and
you use Chuck
JaneJames.com, by the
Liddell's
way.
name, right?
Honey,
Hold
was
on,
I the
hold
one
on.
that brought up Chuck?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're just saying that you're saying just because of all this shit that you got a lot of traffic to your website. So that's
We
what you
did.
do. That's why you brought up Chuck Liddell. You took a photo of Chuck Liddell or whatever that bullshit was, and all the other crap that I've heard.
No, Jim Norton asked about Chuck
Well,
Liddell.
I only asked about that because I had read something and there was a link online. That was the only reason I asked about
Yeah,
that.
no,
was
there's
because,
no. I
Oh,
mean,
Jimmy,
we've
you're an
always,
instigator.
yeah, we're friends, or we
No.
were. I haven't talked to him in a really long time, but we used to be really good friends, and a lot of people ask me about him because it was a big ordeal. I didn't bring it up, I don't need to be throwing people under the bus. I never talk about the guys that I hang out with. But,
We don't name names, especially for guys that we want to, possibly
Yeah.
see again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, don't mention my name then. Well.
We did this radio show in New York with this guy.
Oh my
and,
god, it was so much fun.
Not going to say his name, but
Yeah.
hoping for a fuck sesh later.
Oh,
so.
but he licked my pussy and ass for hours. Just speculating.
yeah.
I gave him a preview.
Yeah. Just don't say too much.
Yeah.
Like, I fucked this guy with an average penis and an Aussie shirt, and it was really fast and lame because that's pretty much the same as saying my fucking. We got it, Jim. But Brian, so now is there any is part of this? And again, I have no knowledge of this. Is this partly a personality conflict that kind of got out of hand, or is there like legitimate legal gripes?
Well, the thing that bothered me is that I do a podcast network. I also, I do the Joe Rogan podcast, and then I also produce about 7 other podcasts. And I had an idea for a podcast that was going to be like a sex podcast, and I was going to originally call it like Sexcast or something. And at the time, I was really good friends with Jayden Cole, and I was telling her about this idea. And she had brought up the idea of, hey, you should call it Sexsquad because the podcast network I made is called Death Squad. I was like, that's a great idea. So we started this idea to have a show, and originally I was going to have Jayden Cole and Dane Theorem on do it. But
I know,
then,
I don't
Hold on,
care.
hold on. You gotta let him finish. It's only we gotta let him finish.
For sure.
Then Jayden Cole just like, hey, I want to bring my friend Jayden Jaymes on this episode. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I tried to get Dana on the second episode. She's like, no, I'm bringing Jayden again. And the problem was the feedback of the show was horrible because
Brian Redban produced it.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Did you know that there's a forum on like Joe Rogan's network that blasts fucking Redban, like all these people that hate him.
Ari and Teve and Sam Tripoli, like we're all still
they've got a great thing going on. It just wasn't our style.
But I think you're even saying I could tell by your reaction that Brian's being truthful about the way the name of the show came out. It sounds like it was a collaborative thing.
Sexsquad, yes.
But I'm saying
Did you hear that? He said Sexcast or whatever, and she said Sexsquad. So at least he admitted that.
Yeah, of course.
She said
totally.
but that was his whole thing is. They stole my name.
Well,
we did come up with Sexsquad.
Well, here's the thing. When I was talking about doing this podcast, Jayden Cole wasn't even supposed to be on this podcast. This is when I first brought this all up to Jayden Cole. She was just a friend of mine.
But that's what happened, Brian. That's just the way that it went.
Sexsquad and trademarked it, so you have nothing on us legally.
We went with it, and then we didn't like what you were doing, so we left. Get over it.
Totally.
Legally. It's a free podcast. That's why I have nothing on you legally because I don't give a shit. But the idea is that if like NBC creates the Cosby Show and then like Theo decides to leave the NBC, he's not going to take the Cosby Show to another channel.
Right, Brian. But you're not the only one that wanted to do a sex show. Like it's not that big of a deal. There are so many sex podcasts out. Like you need to get over it. Stop stalking us in our shows that we're doing. Like get on with your life.
Podcast.
Move on, dude. Move on. It's been a year. It's time to let it go.
There's enough room in the
to
podcast world for all of us.
Oh God, Brian, just look up Squad on iTunes, please. You don't even come up.
Wait, listen, I don't
Just
know.
get over it, dude. Great. Thank you for stalking us and tuning into the show. It's been really fabulous. But move the fuck on.
Here is because fucking 1,000 people texted me. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, see, they're so obsessed with us, dude. Thank you so much.
And so, Brian, what are you looking for in the end?
Yeah, what is it that would make you feel?
What would make you happy, Brian?
Nothing's going to make Brian happy.
The problem is that I have with these girls is that they're fucking lying. Look at what they just did to this other girl they worked with. They threw her under the bus. Look
I
what
didn't
they
work
did
with her.
Liddell. Go on YouTube and type in Chuck Liddell, Jayden Jaymes, and see what he has to say about her. I mean, it's this girl just goes through and uses people and fucking uses their and just destroy. Like so many people have problems with this girl, and there's a reason because I had to deal with this shit. It wasn't their podcast to take. They were the host of a show, and then they just took the name of the show and started it somewhere else. And I was like, all right, whatever that is, I'm still doing the show without them. I bring Dana Dierman on board. And so I did that for a few episodes. The next thing I know, I'm getting cease and desist letters from her friend lawyer. And I'm not going to fight something for a free podcast. I don't give a shit. So now I just call it Triple X Squad. It's a million times better. You listen to their podcast, you listen to Dana's podcast. Night and day difference. These girls don't act like themselves when they're on the podcast. They're acting like
it's a show.
Stars. Dana's
it is a show.
And that's why their show is nowhere in the iTunes rankings.
See, what are you looking up?
I only listen.
Bam.
I only listen to one podcast. My Wife Hates Me with Rich Voss and Bonnie McFarlane.
Rich, Jayden Jaymes, Chuck Liddell. Whatever.
You want to? I'll tell you what he says about me. I know exactly what he says because he called me and asked me. He's like, "Look, all these pictures came up. Here's the deal. You got to cover your own ass." And he says something about. I think he admits that him and his girl had split, and then we were in Cabo, and then he says something about, she knew what she was doing using those pictures or something like that. Which was a.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. How long is it?
No, it's okay.
Look, but Brian, about where in there is it? Because we don't want to play a 4-minute clip. It's like if we're talking about Chuck, we should hear it from Chuck's.
Oh, please.
I haven't seen the video in a while, but I think it's right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Who cares? I'll tell you exactly what he says about me. Because,
Wait, say it first.
Because not only did he call me, but I also was in Montreal with him a couple of weeks later. It's like the guy has kids. It's like he's got to cover his own ass.
And a fiance.
And
yeah, that's why you guys aren't friends anymore, right?
We were friends for a long time, honey bunny.
Yeah, but you're not anymore.
Moved on to bigger and better.
Right?
That's true.
No, yeah, I mean, shit happens.
Or do you guys have it?
Yeah, you wanted it 220?
Is that where it is? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Can you hear?
What was going on there? Because all of a sudden I'm like, wait, engaged? This woman's putting out this video suggesting that something's going on here. So did you get a rash of crap over that? And especially at home? Or did you get wind of the fact that blog was up?
Well, I was broken up.
at that point.
Okay.
And I heard it was, and I thought, well, what are you doing? You know, I mean, I know her, and she's a friend of mine, but she took a picture with me and then make it look like, and she was using it to get press. And that's just all it was. I mean,
is the conversation that nice when you call somebody and go, "What are you doing?" Or are you really mad?
I was mad. I was mad because I know what it was. It was trying to get press for, you know, she's trying to promote herself and whatever and get press. And there's easy way to get press using my name. And it's just it's not okay with me.
Here's Redban talking about it.
I know.
You know,
now we're on Opie and Anthony show.
What's the current state?
Hold on, pause 1 second.
You know what's really sad though?
Was it about just getting press? I mean,
well, no. Here's what it is, and I'll be completely honest. Like I said, I met Chuck when I was 18. Okay, I was 18 working in a strip club, and this guy walked in, and we just became friends. And then we went to Cabo, and I had always. This was when MySpace was big. You guys remember MySpace?
Yeah.
Oh, remember.
Well, I had
who doesn't?
Me and Chuck hung out a bunch of times, you know, and I had a few pictures of us up, and along with all my other friends. And we went on vacation. Of course, we're on vacation. We take more pictures, and I had put more pictures from my vacation with everyone up on MySpace, you know, like everyone does. And this was when my name was really coming up, and oh my God, Chuck's with a porn star. It was no longer, oh hey, this is just a friend of Chuck's who's a no-namer. It's oh my God, wait,
it's a chick from Bang Bros.
Isn't this a famous porn star now? And so yeah, it looks bad, but to me, like this was just my friend. You know, I put some pictures up because he's my homie. And but my name was coming up, and now it's like this porn star looking for press. And yeah, he called me, hey, dude, what's with these pictures?
I'm worried.
And I told, it's like, dude, I'm sorry. We've never had a problem with pictures before, and I'm really sorry that this happens. You know, and then he told me about this interview. But like I said, he was fighting in Montreal like 2 months later, and I flew up there with him, and we hung out, and we had a great time, and
all is
well,
and moved on.
But then I started dating one of the guys that sponsored him. So just,
why did you do that?
Well, me and Chuck, there's not any real, we were friends. But then I started dating this other guy. You know, you find someone new to replace the old one, and that's life, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I have one question because I don't know a lot about this.
I love the hand raise.
No, I don't want to cut in because I'm not like a big porn guy or anything. But if I see green stuff coming out of a girl's pussy, why would I go eat her ass? I would only think that's a lot worse.
Well, you can do a lot of
the lesser of two evils.
No, it was basically what happened with that scene. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I made her go clean it up, and then so luckily there's another girl involved in the scene. But both of us, while we were in the bathroom, were like, okay, I'm not putting my fingers in there. I'm definitely not licking it. So we're gonna fake it, you know. And so we did a lot of her like sitting on her face and having some fun with that. And anytime like the camera wasn't on us, we were like, I'm not touching it. But then the camera would pan around, obviously, and so I'm like, okay, well, let me just lick her butthole, you know, from this angle.
Oh,
and,
man.
You know, it was totally faking it with this chick because we both didn't want to go up in that pussy.
Well, I have an answer for Rich,
It's like a fake punch in a movie.
Yeah,
you're licking like from the back.
You do what you gotta do in the porn world. I mean, shit happens and stuff happens. I just saw the pictures. Oh, it looks really good.
I just saw the pictures. Really I was like, wow, if I didn't know the backstory to that, I'd actually think that was really hot.
Oh, yeah, it looked really good. We just had to avoid her vagina.
Oh,
because neither of us wanted to go in there.
Rich, here's why she went to the ass.
Totally gross.
If you're in a mall and you're eating in a restaurant and the food is bad, you just go next door.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Well, if there's a new girl that comes on a set, like, and she's totally new, and she looks a little off, a little dumb, like she's looking at me like, let's fucking tear her apart. Like she's like a wolf, like smells blood in the pool. Like fuck that. Let's show her what's up. Yeah. You know,
Brian, did we represent you properly? Because we'll let you go, but we didn't want to not represent you guys properly in what you're saying.
Yeah. Got you.
We take both sides here.
Brian.
Totally.
We're the United Nations of porn.
Do we represent you? Do we represent your side properly?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, to me, it doesn't matter. I'm so tired of these girls fucking, like, using this. So many people are like, hey, man, whatever happened to your Sexsquad, you know, your show and blah, blah, blah.
Are they?
And I have to explain this whole story. And, you know, it sucks because there's people that actually think that I have something to do with their show now.
But just let it go, Brian. Just ignore them. Tell them we've all moved on and get over it. It's been a year.
Well,
like I said, just let it go.
An adult star.
Tell other people to get over it, dude. It's not that big of a deal. It was the name of a show. There's plenty of sex shows. Like, it's fine. Let it go.
Yeah, and that's why you couldn't change the name to the Jaydens.
Let it go, dude.
On the Sexsquad.
Let it go. Move
we still
on.
are the Jaydens.
Keep on talking shit about other porn stars too.
Oh God, this guy's still talking. Come on.
Sometimes porn stars are worth talking shit about. Some of them don't represent us well, and we want to establish that there's a difference between the lower end of the business.
I'm not talking about you, Jayden. I have no problem with you, really. But
everyone's got a problem with me, and I like that.
I just can't wait to.
I know. That's why we compliment
That's why
each other.
I'm here.
That's why we work.
You can't wait till what, Brian? You can't wait till
Jayden Jaymes fucks over Jayden Cole. That's going to be the greatest thing.
Maybe we should see some of that.
Maybe we should videotape it.
Yeah.
All right, we're wrapping up soon. Brian, we just wanted to make sure that you felt represented and what you and Joe are doing.
No worries, Brian. We love what you and
Brian got to cry
Death Squad.
nationally. He's happy.
Yeah.
Okay,
he made his point.
All right.
Boo-hoo.
All right, Brian. Take care, brother.
See you guys.
Merry Christmas.
See when
Happy Hanukkah.
Hope you die in a bad car crash.
Oh, that's
Holy fuck!
Jesus.
There's a lot of bad energy.
No,
Yeah.
like, come on. Are
We're
you
just
really
fucking
gonna,
around. We're
you
just
know,
talking shit.
It's to me, shit happens in life. You roll
Yeah,
with the punches
yeah.
and you let it go.
Yeah.
There was so much drama over the sex squad thing, and we never meant to screw anyone over. It wasn't
No,
a good
not at
fit
all.
with us, and we left. Sex shows exist, and we just so happened to have another
Yeah.
one.
Was there a way-
And he is just, God, it's like, let it go, dude. It was a year ago.
Was there a way? Because, and again, you always want to think because they have really manic fans, and I mean in a very good way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
To have worked it out with them, where you're like, all right, look, this is getting out of hand. Because if you're going to leave, you leave. But this way, you don't.
tried.
Their fans don't
Definitely,
hate you.
we tried. I think you should know that. Like, we definitely tried to reach out a lot. He was hard to get a hold of, and after we left, there was a couple people on the Death Squad network that were also like, "Yeah, we can't get a hold of him either. We need to talk." I was like, "No, dude, I'm not."
We're not we weren't his only show that were
like,
having issues.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Some of his other guys, like, they wish that he would be.
We just want to like drop the weapon and back away.
Yeah,
We love it.
Brian's life is centered around Joe and his schedule, which is fine.
Yeah, that's a big
we
show.
wanted
Yeah,
something,
that's the
and everyone
biggest.
else on the network wanted something that was set. They wanted a schedule, so their fans knew when they could hear them, and it wasn't, well, it's 11 o'clock this day, and then it's going to be at midnight this night. Like, we didn't want that. And he was just unwilling to get us in on a set schedule, which is what we wanted. We wanted a weekly show at a set time so people would know that they had something to do on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working out. But
We've gone from talking about your vaginas to intellectual property law.